Hi, I'm Mark Govan with ABC Tropical Plant Nursery and host of Florida Gardening radio program, which airs every Sunday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Today, we're going to learn how to grow plumerias. Now, plumerias are one of my favorite plants, and in order to grow plumerias properly, you're going to need several things. First of all, you're going to need a plumeria cutting, as we have here today. You have to have a plumeria cutting if we want to start growing plumerias. Second, you're going to need a good potting soil that we can fill our 1 gallon pot with. Then we're going to need a label and pencil so that we can mark the label and date it so that we know when we started to plant our plumeria. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our 1 gallon pot and we're going to go ahead and fill it up with some good potting soil. Now I use a good peat and perlite mixture in my potting soil. I use 2/3 peat and 1/3 perlite inside my potting mixture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop some out of my pot here that's already pre-made and pour it directly into my pot. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this pot right to the top. And I do that first. So I take a good couple of scoops and one more scoop here for good luck. Here we go. And once the pot is completely up, I just kind of level out the mixture inside the pot. Now, when you decide to plant your plumeria, you have to remember that there is an up and a downside on every plumeria cutting. Now, how you can easily remember, depending if, let's say you don't have the top on here, how would you determine where your up and down is? Well, if you look at the leaf scar on the plumeria, and the leaf scar is right here where my finger is pointing, the leaf scar forms a smile if it's the right side up. If the cutting was upside down, it would be a frown. So for those of you who have never planted a plumeria cutting before, it's very important to know which side to plant if you want to have your plumeria to grow. Now it's time to go ahead and plant the cutting into the mix. I generally fill my 1 gallon pot up all the way to the top, as I said, and now I'm going to stick it directly into the center, and I stick it in about halfway or about 3 to 4 inches. Once it's in the pot, I'll tamp around the cutting itself to secure the cutting in place. Then, very important, I'll use my thumbs on the outside of the container, and I'll actually push the dirt around the outside of the container to make sure that the plumeria is secure in the container itself. After the plumeria is in the container, I'll usually add water right after this, just a little bit of water to help the plumeria settle in place, and then I'm going to take the cutting and put the cutting out in full sun. Now, a plumeria does not need any additional watering until the leaves start to grow from the top of the plumeria. After the leaves have started to grow and you start to see them get longer and longer, at that point the roots will start to form in the pot. That's the key time to go ahead and start watering your plumeria. After that, just water it on a regular basis, light waterings. But one thing to remember, I never like to put a pot to gather water under my plumeria cutting because that could tend to lead to your plumeria rotting. So don't put any catch basin underneath your pot. Let it stay out in full sun, and you are going to be able to grow your plumerias just like the professionals. I'm Mark Govan with ABC Tropical Plant Nursery, hoping you can grow plumerias as well as we can.